Pawel Pawlikowski, you directed Ida, which is nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars. It tells the story of a novice nun who learns about her Jewish heritage and what happened to her family during World War II. What made you want to tell a story about this period of Polish history?
Uh, sorry, what made me tired is it's not a reduced story. I mean, more in it than just something about Polish history and stuff. All sorts of things about faith, identity, love. How many people we can have a lifetime. There's a lot of stuff in it. So I've always been interested in that. So so I was kind of, I kind of constructed a that had a lot of things that interested me. Among others, the kind of consequence of the Second World War, the Holocaust, also of Stalinism, But I didn't really want to deal with history. I wanted to make a very specific film about the characters, characters who are complex, paradoxical in some way. A film that dealt with, timeless things, So, faith, and then, responsibility for your actions in your life. And that's always interested me, that territory. So that's what wrote the film. And I also wanted to set a film in, to make a full and then set it in the early 60s, which is a time which I find very close to. I was a kid at the time, quite young. I was absorbing the world quite intensely, and I wanted to bring that on, recreate it on screen. It's the world of my parents, generation, whom I miss, world I miss, people I miss. So there's a lot of reasons for making the film. I don't think there's like one, reason for making a film like Ida.
The title character in the film is played by Agata Czerwakowska, and this is her debut film. How did you cast her in the role? How did you find her for this?
Oh, it's a long. But I was looking for a very long time among like professional actresses and students of drama, and then in the end, she was found with the help of a friend of mine in cafe in Warsaw, just right downstairs from where I live. Strange months of looking all uh, and she was just sitting there reading a book. She was a student of philosophy and cultural studies at Warsaw University. She wanted to act and she agreed to come for an audition. She'd seen my Summer of Love, which was like a film in her youth. So she was she was 18 or something. Wanted to meet me, and she came to the audition. And then when I got to know her better, I see that she is that she's perfect, and she was great, and she could cope under pressure. She was obviously a grounded character. So, I was lucky that way. I can't imagine the film with anyone else, and I wouldn't have started filming until I've got the lead that works.
Ida's gotten a lot of attention around the world, a lot of awards. It won, best film at the Polish Film Awards. But now, the film, some in Poland have accused the film of being anti-Polish. Did criticism surprise you when they sprang up?
Yeah, because it's bogus. What happened is, when the film came out in Poland, it was watched by 120,000 people. People who go to see these kind of films, who understand how cinema, like cinema. Whereas suddenly all this awards attention, with the European, the big thing in Europe anyway. 5 or 6 of them. Suddenly, it became like a political fact. The film, and then Oscar nominations. So a lot of politicians and kind of politically minded journalists who have nothing to do with films, they don't like films, started dealing with it as a kind of political football. What does it say about our country? Why is this film representing our country? It's not patriotic. It's not this, not that. And then, some kind of petition was launched, to defend the good name of Poland, which of course is totally counterproductive, because the petition that image, our reputation, not like Ida, which are very complex and rich films. You know, they're not political statements. So there's a bit of fuss about it. I think these people are just kind of they're not talking about my film. You know, they're kind of using it as a political to make political capital, and the right wing in Poland now is kind of trying to animate itself and get worked up about stuff because elections approaching and they've been out of power for a while, and to confuse to accuse a film of being unpatriotic helps them create this feeling that there is some kind of conspiracy against Poland. You know, that we're in a state of siege. In fact, the organization who launched this petition, the real name is like the Bastion for the Defense of the Good Name of Poland. You know, like Bastion. You know, what's going on? There's some kind of state of siege. So yeah, so it's all a bit. I mean, it has its own logic that's completely nothing to do with the film. You know, so. But I mean, the same thing happened to my Russian friend Andrei in Russia. He got a lot of stick, but I don't think we should make too much of it because in the end, our films, Ida and my Russian friend's film, Leviathan, we still made them for state money. In Poland and Russia, we still were nominated as our national entry, officially by the ministries of culture. And we still got distributed in our countries, So in the end, a little bit of noise. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, interesting. Despite some of the backlash over the film's depiction of Polish history, the film actually has an opportunity now to be really groundbreaking for Polish cinema. If it wins the Oscar, it would be the first Polish film to win the Academy Award for foreign language film. But would it be especially meaningful for you to sort of break that ground for Poland at the Academy Awards?
Yeah, totally. I think it'd be great for Polish cinema, because it's had its ups and downs. It's got great traditions. It had a great moment in the 50s and the 60s, and 70s, and then with Kieślowski in the 80s. It hasn't had that for a while now, so it'd be brilliant if Ida suddenly put it back on the map, because it's. But whatever happens, it's already been good. I mean, the film's done better than anybody expected, than I expected for sure. So that would be just like a crowning glory, but it's all good already.
You mentioned Kieślowski, and just by getting the nomination, you've joined some other kind of impressive company in terms of the directors who have earned nominations for Poland, like Roman Polanski, Andrzej Wajda, Agnieszka Holland. What are your thoughts about being sort of in that company of filmmakers now that you've earned that nomination?
It's good, I'm happy. They're great. They're great. Some of them are my friends, So yeah, I'm thrilled, of course. But it's not just Polish filmmakers. I kind of, when you make films, art house films, I suppose. It's like there's a whole bunch of filmmakers who are not defined by the nationality. They're just like there's a whole kind of film world, from Bresson, Dreyer, Bergman, Godard, it's like that's the world, that I relate to, or Terrence Malick in his early films, anyway. Or early Scorsese. It's great to be, but it's not necessarily about Oscars, It's just like you want to make films that are saying something, where the form has something to do with the content, that are somehow personal, specific, and that's what one tries to keep doing, rather than kind of industrial films where all the buttons are pressed and everything is kind of pretty engineered. So, Oscars aside, that's the kind of cinema that I'm inspired by, and I'm so happy when Nuri Ceylan, the Turkish guy, makes a new film, or when I see this my Swedish friend from Force Majeure, Ruben, or I can see the poster for Mummy, that young chap, what's his name, Xavier Dolan. It's great that he's made this completely mad, totally original film. That's what makes me really happy and excited about cinema, that it's still a live medium. Or a mad project like Boyhood, or this kind of Birdman with just one shot thing. It's good that people take risks and do their own thing. I like that.
You've received awards attention before for other films, but probably not quite to the extent that Ida has over the last year. Has there been any, particular award or moment of recognition for you and for this film that has been especially meaningful to you up to this point?
You mean for Ida?
Hmm.
Uh, God, there's so many. I think I think we won like 70 awards, and they were all brilliant. Probably the European Film Awards so far was brilliant because it felt really, being there in Riga with these filmmakers. In my category, the best European films was like Nuri, Celan, Zviagintsev, Andrei, who I respect a lot, Force Majeure, and what else was that? It was a really good film. God. Anyway, it was a good company, and to win in that company, it was really good, and it just felt really coherent, They just these awards. And what I really liked there as well was that there was no, there's no campaigning or lobbying, This was just like, in European Film Awards you don't have that, so it's kind of like, the members, like 4,000 or whatever, just watch the films, and then they vote, and there was something very moving about that to be voted for by my community of filmmakers. Yeah, and it was like a good evening all over. I think we won five awards, So what is there not to like? Yeah. But also the company, the wonderful filmmakers who were there, and who each one of them could have won, So I like that.
You've won a number of awards for this film and for films before, just by sheer volume at this point. What do you do with the awards? Are you able to display them all? Are they all like stuck in a closet somewhere just because you don't have room? Because it's been such an awards overwhelming for Ida this past year.
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, I have a study, which nobody goes into, where I just kind of put the awards, and keep them for special occasions, just have to dust them occasionally. But I've been making films for a long time, and I like a period of making documentaries where with the documentary I made, I won awards, So I have a documentary, every 10 years I have a moment of like a good moment. So, I had like a moment for documentaries, and I made, My Summer Last Resort, which won quite a lot of awards. And then this Ida, which beats everything, because that's gone further than anyone. I just realized that I have to kind of just live a long time, and every 10 years I make a film or two films, and good things might happen. But yeah, the awards just are standing there, and the more kind of abstruse ones, like from Lima, I get a great one from Peru, which is the most beautiful statue. I love that. Nobody's ever heard of the festival, but it's a great festival, and there are all sorts of wonderful festivals, Vilnius or Minsk, or what was really good about this whole Ida experience, that the film traveled to so many different places, to South Korea, to Morocco, Finland, Spain. That's something. It means that it kind of communicates in some very universal way. So I'm very happy about that.
Well, I want to congratulate you again on the Oscar nomination and the BAFTA nomination that's coming up soon also. And thank you very much for talking to me. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Good to speak to you. Bye-bye.